Chapter 22. Now after these things, God put Abraham to the test, and said to him, Abraham, and he said, Here am I. And he said to him, Take your son, your dearly loved only son Isaac, and go to the land of Moriah and give him as a burnt offering on one of the mountains of which I will give you knowledge. And Abraham got up early in the morning, and made ready his ass, and took with him 2 of his young men and Isaac, his son, and after the wood for the burnt offering had been cut, he went on his way to the place of which God had given him word. And on the 3rd day, Abraham, lifting up his eyes, saw the place a long way off. Then he said to his young men, Keep here with the ass, and I and the boy will go on and give worship and come back again to you. And Abraham put the wood for the burnt offering on his son's back, and he himself took the fire and the knife in his hand, and the 2 of them went on together. Then Isaac said to Abraham, My father, and he said, Here am I, my son. And he said, We have wood and fire here, but where is the lamb for the burnt offering? And Abraham said, God himself will give the lamb for the burnt offering. So they went on together. And they came to the place of which God had given him knowledge, and there Abraham made the altar and put the wood in place on it, and having made tight the bands round Isaac his son, he put him on the wood on the altar. And stretching out his hand, Abraham took the knife to put his son to death. But the voice of the angel of the Lord came from heaven, saying, Abraham, Abraham, and he said, Here am I. And he said, Let not your hand be stretched out against the boy to do anything to him, for now I am certain that the fear of God is in your heart, because you have not kept back your son, your only son, from me. And lifting up his eyes, Abraham saw a sheep fixed by its horns in the brushwood, and Abraham took the sheep and made a burnt offering of it in place of his son. And Abraham gave that place the name Yahweh-Yireh, as it is said to this day, In the mountain the Lord is seen. And the voice of the angel of the Lord came to Abraham a second time from heaven, saying, I have taken an oath by my name, says the Lord, because you have done this and have not kept back from me your dearly loved only son, that I will certainly give you my blessing, and your seed will be increased like the stars of heaven and the sand by the seaside. Your seed will take the land of those who are against them, and your seed will be a blessing to all the nations of the earth, because you have done what I gave you orders to do. Then Abraham went back to his young men, and they went together to Beersheba, the place where Abraham was living. After these things, Abraham had news that Milcah, the wife of his brother Nahor, had given birth to children, Uz the oldest, and Buz his brother, and Kemuel, the father of Aram, and Chest and Hazo and Pildash and Jilaph and Bethuel. Bethuel was the father of Rebekah. These 8 were the children of Milcah and Nahor, Abraham's brother. And his servant Reumah gave birth to Tebah and Gaham and Tahash and Maachah. Chapter 23. Now the years of Sarah's life were 127. And Sarah's death took place in Kiriath Arba, that is, Hebron, in the land of Canaan, and Abraham went into his house, weeping and sorrowing for Sarah. And Abraham came from his dead and said to the children of Heth, I am living among you as one from a strange country. Give me some land here as my property, so that I may put my dead to rest. And in answer the children of Heth said to Abraham, My lord, truly you are a great chief among us. Take the best of our resting places for your dead. Not one of us will keep back from you a place where you may put your dead to rest. And Abraham got up and gave honor to the children of Heth, the people of that land. And he said to them, If you will let me put my dead to rest here, make a request for me to Ephron, the son of Zohar, that he will give me the hollow in the rock named Mishpelah, which is his property at the end of his field. Let him give it to me for its full price as a resting place for my dead among you. Now Ephron was seated among the children of Heth, and Ephron the Hittite gave Abraham his answer in the hearing of the children of Heth, and of all those who came into his town, saying, No, my lord, I will give you the field with the hollow in the rock. Before all the children of my people will I give it to you for a resting place for your dead. And Abraham went down on his face before the people of the land. And Abraham said to Ephron, in the hearing of the people of the land, If only you will give ear to me, I will give you the price of the field. Take it, and let me put my dead to rest there. So Ephron said to Abraham, My lord, give ear to me, the value of the land is 400 shekels, what is that between me and you? So put your dead to rest there. And Abraham took note of the price fixed by Ephron in the hearing of the children of Heth, and gave him 400 shekels in current money. So Ephron's field at Mishpah near Mamre, with the hollow in the rock and all the trees in the field and round it, became the property of Abraham before the eyes of the children of Heth and of all who came into the town. Then Abraham put Sarah his wife to rest in the hollow rock in the field of Mishpah near Mamre, that is, Hebron in the land of Canaan, and the field and the hollow rock were handed over to Abraham as his property by the children of Heth. Chapter 24. Now Abraham was old and far on in years, and the Lord had given him everything in full measure. And Abraham said to his chief servant, the manager of all his property, Come now, put your hand under my leg, and take an oath by the Lord, the God of heaven and the God of the earth, that you will not get a wife for my son Isaac from the daughters of the Canaanites among whom I am living, but that you will go into my country and to my relations and get a wife there for my son Isaac. And the servant said, If by chance the woman will not come with me into this land, am I to take your son back again to the land from which you came? And Abraham said, Take care that you do not let my son go back to that land. The Lord God of heaven, who took me from my father's house and from the land of my birth, and made an oath to me, saying, To your seed I will give this land, he will send his angel before you and give you a wife for my son in that land. And if the woman will not come with you, then you are free from this oath, only do not take my son back there. And the servant put his hand under Abraham's leg, and gave him his oath about this thing. And the servant took 10 of his master's camels, and all sorts of good things of his master's, and went to Mesopotamia, to the town of Nahor. And he made the camels take their rest outside the town by the water spring in the evening, at the time when the women came to get water. And he said, O Lord, the God of my master Abraham, let me do well in what I have undertaken this day, and give your mercy to my master Abraham. See, I am waiting here by the water spring, and the daughters of the town are coming out to get water. Now, may the girl to whom I say, Let down your vessel and give me a drink, and who says in answer, Here is a drink for you and let me give water to your camels, may she be the one marked out by you for your servant Isaac, so may I be certain that you have been good to my master Abraham. And even before his words were ended, Rebekah, the daughter of Bethuel, the son of Milcah, who was the wife of Nahor, Abraham's brother, came out with her water vessel on her arm. She was a very beautiful girl, a virgin, who had never been touched by a man, and she went down to the spring to get water in her vessel. And the servant came running to her and said, Give me a little water from your vessel. And she said, Take a drink, my lord, and quickly letting down her vessel onto her hand, she gave him a drink. And having done so, she said, I will get water for your camels till they have had enough. And after putting the water from her vessel into the animals' drinking place, she went quickly back to the spring and got water for all the camels. And the man, looking at her, said nothing, waiting to see if the Lord had given his journey a good outcome. And when the camels had had enough, the man took a gold nose ring, half a shekel in weight, and 2 ornaments for her arms of 10 shekels weight of gold, and said to her, Whose daughter are you? Is there a room in your father's house for us? And she said to him, I am the daughter of Bethuel, the son of Milcah, Nahor's wife. And she said, We have a great store of dry grass and cattle food, and there is room for you. And with bent head the man gave worship to the Lord, and said, Praise be to the Lord, the God of my master Abraham, who has given a sign that he is good and true to my master, by guiding me straight to the house of my master's family. So the girl went running and took the news of these things to her mother's house. Now Rebekah had a brother named Laban, and he came out quickly to the man at the water spring. And when he saw the nose ring and the ornaments on his sister's hands, and when she gave him word of what the man had said to her, then he went out to the man who was waiting with the camels by the water spring. And he said to him, Come in, you on whom is the blessing of the Lord, why are you waiting outside? For I have made the house ready for you, and a place for the camels. Then the man came into the house, and Laban took their cords off the camels and gave them dry grass and food, and he gave to him and the men who were with him water for washing their feet. And meat was put before him, but he said, I will not take food till I have made my business clear to you. And they said, Do so. And he said, I am Abraham's servant. The Lord has given my master every blessing, and he has become great. He has given him flocks and herds and silver and gold, and men servants and women servants and camels and asses. And when Sarah, my master's wife, was old, she gave birth to a son, to whom he has given all he has. And my master made me take an oath, saying, "Do not get a wife for my son from the daughters of the Canaanites among whom I am living, but go to my father's house and to my relations for a wife for my son." And I said to my master, "What if the woman will not come with me?" And he said, "The Lord, whom I have ever kept before me, will send his angel with you, who will make it possible for you to get a wife for my son from my relations and my father's house, and you will be free from your oath to me when you come to my people, and if they will not give her to you, you will be free from your oath." And I came today to the water spring, and I said, "O Lord, the God of my master Abraham, if it is your purpose to give a good outcome to my journey, let it come about that, while I am waiting here by the water spring, if a girl comes to get water and I say to her, 'Give me a little water from your vessel,' and she says, 'Take a drink, and I will get water for your camels,' let her be the woman marked out by the Lord for my master's son." And even while I was saying this to myself, Rebekah came out with her vessel on her arm, and she went down to the spring to get water, and I said to her, "Give me a drink." And straightway she took down her vessel from her arm, and said, "Take a drink, and I will get water for your camels." And questioning her, I said, "Whose daughter are you?" And she said, "The daughter of Bethuel, the son of Nahor, and Milcah his wife." Then I put the ring on her nose and the ornaments on her hands. And with bent head I gave worship and praise to the Lord, the God of my master Abraham, by whom I had been guided in the right way, to get the daughter of my master's brother for his son. And now, say if you will do what is good and right for my master or not, in order that it may be clear to me what I have to do." Then Laban and Bethuel said in answer, "This is the Lord's doing, it is not for us to say yes or no to you. See, here is Rebekah, take her and go, and let her be your master's son's wife, as the Lord has said." And at these words, Abraham's servant went down on his face and gave praise to the Lord. Then he took jewels of silver and jewels of gold and fair robes and gave them to Rebekah, and he gave things of value to her mother and her brother. Then he and the men who were with him had food and drink, and took their rest there that night, and in the morning he got up, and said, "Let me now go back to my master." But her brother and her mother said, "Let the girl be with us a week or 10 days, and then she may go." And he said, "Do not keep me. The Lord has given a good outcome to my journey, let me now go back to my master." And they said, "We will send for the girl, and let her make the decision." And they sent for Rebekah and said to her, "Are you ready to go with this man?" And she said, "I am ready." So they sent their sister Rebekah and her servant with Abraham's servant and his men. And they gave Rebekah their blessing, saying, "O sister, may you be the mother of thousands and 10,000s, and may your seed overcome all those who make war against them." So Rebekah and her servant women went with the man, seated on the camels, and so the servant took Rebekah and went on his way. Now Isaac had come through the wasteland to Beer-lahai-roi, for he was living in the south. And when the evening was near, he went wandering out into the fields, and lifting up his eyes he saw camels coming. And when Rebekah, looking up, saw Isaac, she got down from her camel, and said to the servant, "Who is that man coming to us through the field?" And the servant said, "It is my master." Then she took her veil, covering her face with it. Then the servant gave Isaac the story of all he had done. And Isaac took Rebekah into his tent and she became his wife, and in his love for her, Isaac was comforted after his father's death.